under the indicator 5, knowledge management and advocacy, may dalawa lang naman po itong items or subcategories, which is sumpisahan ko na sa 5.1. Ito yung mga local disaster database resource natin. So ano yung sinasabi sa indicator na local disaster database resource? So dapat daw po sa LGU merong available na mga updated inventory ng kanilang vital resources needed during emergencies, such as of course the human resource, the equipment, directories, location ng mga critical infrastructure such as evacuation centers, sa mga safe spaces, then ano yung mga capacities ng mga hospitals, mga ganyan po. So meron dyan note, pero mamaya ko nabanggitin yung regarding dito sa note. Under this 5.1, ano muna yung mga means of verification na hahanapin po natin kay LGU? So una, dated and duly approved na kanilang proper authority, yung database na kanilang human resource, equipment, and critical facilities. So when we say dated and duly approved, so parang listahan lang naman po ito na meron din pong pirma at kung kailan siya pinirmahan ng kanilang proper authorized body po. It's either the LCE or the LDMO po. So yun po. Then we have also the list na kanilang mga permanent evacuation centers. So yan po yung mga means of verification. Ngayon pagdating po sa permanent evacuation, Sir Mario, paano kapag ang ginamit po na evacuation na binigay ni LGU is yung kanilang listahan ng mga eskwelahan? So meron po dito naka-note. Ang sabi po, based sa RA 10821 under Section 5, only in cases where there is no other available place or there is no other available structure which can be used as a general evacuation center, pwedeng gamitin ng school or child development center as evacuation pero hindi pwedeng mag-exceed ng 15 days. Malinaw po yan sa RA 10821. At kapag ginamit naman po ang school or child development center as evacuation center, um, yung kanilang gymnasiums, learning and activity centers, auditoriums, and other open spaces shall be pag ginamit po yung kanilang schools or child development centers as evacuation centers, yung kanilang gymnasium, learning and activity centers, including the auditoriums and other open spaces, shall be utilized first, hindi po ang mga classroom. Again, kapag ginamit po ang schools as evacuation centers, ang unang gagamitin na part ng mga to bilang evacuation centers is yung mga gymnasium, activity centers, open spaces, or auditoriums. Hindi po ang classroom. So, yun po yun ang nakalagay sa RA 10821. Also, meron din po itong kaakibat na documentation. Una, kailangan meron itong um, written written documentation kay DepEd and DILG na nag-i-state ng pangalan and location ng school, lahat ng alternate sites and proposals for final site selection, and then yung ano yung mga measures being implemented to prevent interference or disruption dun sa school and educational activities pagdating na ginamit po ang kanilang eskwelahan as evacuation center. So yun po kailangan meron pong written documentation. So pag sinabi pong list of permanent evacuation centers, hindi po muna dapat kabilang ang mga eskwelahan dito. So aside from the list of permanent evacuation centers, mga listahan ng mga approved mga human resource equipment and critical facilities, kasama pa rin po sa tinitingnan natin dito sa 5.1, yung mga inventory of maps natin. Which is, kung maalala nyo, is kabilang ito dun sa sa 2.1 natin, which is, na 2.2 rather, which is inventory din or maintenance ng local risk maps. So, kailangan kasama pa rin sila dito sa 5.1. And then we also have a means of verification, yung mga website and social medias na meron sa LGU patok na patok ito sa halos lahat yata ng ating mga LGUs, may mga kanya-kanya ng mga Facebook pages. So dapat meron po itong mga directories ng kanilang mga, example yung mga hospital sa kanilang locality na meron kasamang contact details, as well as mga evacuation centers, mga contact persons in case of emergencies. Yan po, dapat meron po yan dun sa kanilang social media accounts. Also, another means of verification for this is yung mga posted and disseminated directory natong mga ng mga directory. So hindi lang 'to makikita lang dapat sa loob ng kanilang offices, sa loob ng OPSAN, but rather kahit dun sa mga conspicuous areas din po. So sir, paano naman natin i-scorean ang item na 'to or ang indicator 5.1? So for 0 points, siyempre wala pong na-provide na database of critical infrastructure, resource, permanent evacuation centers, capacity, and inventory of maps. So pag wala pong napakitang ganito, 0 points. Which is kung sakasakali man na zero nga sila dito, wala silang mapakitang inventory of maps, maapektuhan yung ibang indicators din natin. Then 1 point kapag may napakita po na database of critical infrastructure with resources, kasama yung permanent evacuation centers, yung listahan, with its capacity and inventory of maps with directories, yan po ay 1 point. 2 points naman po, refer po tayo dito sa item sa pinakababa. To yung medyo inano ko lang, mas in-itemize ko lang para at least mas madaling makita kung ano yung hinahanap natin. So for 2 points, dapat meron pong una, yung letter A, completed and updated annual database of critical infrastructure, human resource, equipment, and critical facilities, which is dated and duly approved. So annual. Merong dapat listahan ng permanent evacuation centers and its capacity. So again, if may use ng schools, kailangan mo merong MOA with the school division tsaka LGU. Then letter C, updated inventory of maps. And letter D is posted directory in public places, including public places. So yun po. So again, for compliant point, completed and updated annual database of critical infrastructure, human resource, equipment, and critical facilities, permanent evacuation centers and its capacity, updated inventory of maps, and posted directory in public places. So, yun po yung hinahanap natin sa compliant point or 2 points. Parang umangat po sila sa premium points o yung 3 points po natin. Yung completed and updated na annual, dapat po is completed, disaggregated, and updated at least semestral yung kanilang database. Meaning to say, so kung assessment year is 2024, dalawa po ang may papakita nila within the year. Kasi semester nga po. Kaya kailangan po dated and duly approved. Itong database ng mga critical infrastructure, human resource, equipment, and critical facilities. Permanent evacuation centers in its capacity, updated inventory of maps, and then yung posted directory, hindi lang po in public places but also in websites or yung mga social media accounts nila. So yun po ang para maging premium points po. So yun po ang pagkakaiba lang po ng ating compliant points versus premium points or 2 points versus 3 points. Una, magiging premium point po sila kapag at least semestral, completed and disaggregated yung kanilang database of critical infra, human resource, equipment, and critical facilities. And then yung kanilang directory is nakapost din po sa kanilang websites. Okay. I think wala naman pong malinaw naman po siya and wala po ako nakikitang comment. Let's move on to 5.2. Conduct ng information dissemination and public awareness. So under this indicator po, sinasabi po dito yung availability ng contextualized, laymanized, and in popular language IEC materials on hazards, risks, vulnerabilities, early warning systems, and countermeasures for at least top 2 hazards. At pag sinabi natin at least top 2 hazards, babalik po tayo doon sa kanilang risk profile na ina-identify po nila doon, alin po doon ang kanilang top 2 hazards. Also, in this indicator, it says that info dissemination ng kanilang IEC activities on RA 1121 ay are based sa RA 1121 and related laws conducted. Meron pong regular conduct ng mga evacuation drills, ang kanilang hazard maps, local risk maps, evacuation maps and routes, hazard signages ay dapat po naka-displayed in appropriate areas. Baka mamaya po naglagay sila ng landslide pero prone pala sa flooding. May mga ganyan po. O hindi naman pala talaga landslide area siya. Dapat alam po natin or alam po dapat talaga kung saan nakalagay yung mga proper signages. And then merong under this indicator, it pertains also sa public advisories which are issued on impending hazards. So yan po yung kadalasan na narinig na or nababasa na po natin sa mga Facebook na mga pinopost ng ating mga DreamOs. So yan po, kasama rin po ito dito. So ano-ano po ang mga means of verification under 5.2? So una, yung IEC program based on RA 1121 and related laws, disaster preparedness and early warning system. Post-activity reports nung pag-conduct nila ng mga drills and exercises and other related IEC activities. Meron din pong presence ng actual IEC material. So it's either naka-poster ba to, naka-flyer or pamphlet, mga ganyan po. Even online publications po pwede rin po. Then, of course, yung mga hazard maps and signages displayed in conspicuous areas. And of course, the issuance of advisories either through social media, emails, or even sa hard copies po. So, ano po or paano natin sila i-rate sa LGUs on this one? So, kapag wala po na-provide na any means ng IEC material, 0 points. Kapag 1 point naman, pag meron pong existing so, with IEC program po, 1 point. 2 points naman po ibibigay natin kay LGU kapag una, meron pong contextualized, laymanized, and in popular language IEC materials for at least top 2 hazards and disseminated on the same through various media platforms. Meron din po dapat na posting of hazard maps and signages displayed in conspicuous areas and nagkakandak po dapat ng drills and other exercises. So, yun po yung compliant point or 2 points. So, para ma-elevate po siya sa premium points or 3 points. So, yung kanilang contextualized, laymanized, and in popular language IEC for at least top 3 hazards na po ito. Okay, for at least at least 3 hazards kasi including yung kanilang top 2 hazards. Then develop effective practical, sustainable, traditional, or tech-based innovations IEC program. Ang kanilang mga hazard maps and signages are posted on conspicuous areas, and then meron din pong conduct ng drills and other exercises. So, yun po yung ating scoring base for 5-2. Now, question for everyone. Sino po makakasagot? When we say laymanized, do we consider yung normal na Tagalog or Tagalog as laymanized? Like for example, the province or the province po is 50% mga indigenous ang mga constituents. Pero ang IEC nila is Tagalog. Do we categorize it as laymanized? Hello po sa mga validators natin. Yes po, pero isa, maybe yes. Local dialect, not only Tagalog, exactly. From DILG, di daw niya from DILG 10, hindi daw ikino-consider yung Tagalog as laymanized. Okay. Thank you po sa mga sagot. For that po, Tagalog po is considered as laymanized. So kahit sabihin natin po na 50% of the constituents on that locality is composed of indigenous peoples, um, 50 paggamit po ng Tagalog as a means na i-produce ang kanilang IEC is matatawag pa rin po natin itong laymanized. Hindi naman po kadalasan may mga indigenous naman po na marunong pa rin naman po na makaintindi ng Tagalog. And then also, Tagalog naman po is a form of language pa rin po na mas kumbaga, mas naiintindihan ng karamihan kumpara sa local dialect. But of course, if meron po talaga silang localized talaga ng kanilang mga under dialect na mga IEC materials, that would be better po. Yeah, when we say laymanized po kasi, it's easily understandable po kasi. So yun po. Thank you, Ma'am Fatima. Yan. So yun po, tatanggapin po natin kahit po sabihin natin na nakatagalog lang po siya, puwede po siya ma-categorize as laymanized po. Okay. So again, for the fourth column, make sure lang po na sabihan natin si LGU na ilagay po dito yung kanilang mga IEC programs. Okay? And then para magbilis para kay validator na ma-identify ito at madaling hanapin sa kanilang MOVs.